Imagine waking up to 2 sunrises every morning. 2 suns on the horizon. 2 shadows following you everywhere you go. The sky twice as bright. The days twice as long. It sounds like something from a dream. But here's the thing. Within 72 hours of a second sun appearing in our sky, the oceans would begin to boil. Not metaphorically, not slowly, actually boil. And that's just the beginning. Before we get into what would happen to Earth, let's talk about what a second sun would actually mean. Roughly 50% of all star systems in our galaxy are binary systems, meaning 2 stars orbiting each other. Some orbit closely, like partners in a dance. Others are separated by enormous distances, barely affecting each other. Our solar system is unusual in having just 1 star. Most places in the universe are not like us. So what if Earth existed in a binary system? What if tomorrow morning a second star appeared alongside our sun? The answer depends on where that second star is. And the differences between the scenarios are the difference between life continuing as normal and everything dying within days. Let's start with the worst case. Imagine the second sun appears close to our own, within the same inner region of our solar system.
Close enough that from Earth it looks nearly as large as the sun we know. The first thing that happens is light. Twice the light. Twice the radiation. Earth currently sits at what scientists call the habitable zone, the precise distance from a star where liquid water can exist on a planet's surface. Move that planet closer or add more heat, and the entire equation breaks. With 2 suns at close proximity, Earth receives approximately twice the solar energy it currently does. The average surface temperature, which is currently around 15 degrees Celsius, would begin rising within days. Within weeks, surface temperatures would exceed 70 degrees Celsius across most of the planet. The poles, the last refuge, would reach temperatures that make them uninhabitable. And water. Earth's oceans, 1.335 billion cubic kilometers of water, would begin evaporating on a catastrophic scale. The atmosphere would fill with steam, creating a runaway greenhouse effect. The more water evaporates, the hotter it gets. The hotter it gets, the more evaporates. There is no stopping it once it starts. This is exactly what happened to Venus 4 billion years ago. Venus likely had oceans once. A runaway greenhouse effect destroyed them. Today, Venus has a surface temperature of 465 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead. That is Earth's future in a close binary system. But heat isn't the only problem. Gravity would tear Earth apart, slowly but relentlessly. Right now, Earth follows a beautifully stable elliptical orbit around the Sun. It has done so for 4.5 billion years. That stability is what allowed life to emerge, evolve, and survive. Add a second star, and that stability vanishes. 2 large gravitational sources pulling at Earth simultaneously would make its orbit chaotic and unpredictable. Computer simulations of 3 body systems, 1 planet, 2 stars,
almost always result in the planet being ejected from the system entirely within a few million years, or being pulled into one of the stars.
Even before that happens, the gravitational tug-of-war would cause Earth's axial tilt to shift wildly. Seasons would become extreme and unrecognizable. The tides would become catastrophic. Waves generated by the competing gravitational pulls of two massive stars would be unlike anything in Earth's history. The planet would essentially be gravitationally tortured. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all binary star scenarios end in destruction. There is one configuration where Earth could actually survive, and it's more than theoretical. It's called a circumbinary orbit. If the two suns are very close to each other, orbiting each other tightly, and Earth orbits both of them from a safe, large distance, the gravitational chaos largely cancels out. From Earth's perspective, the two stars would appear as a single bright point of light for most of the year, with occasional spectacular double-star events visible in the sky. We have actually found planets doing exactly this. In 2011, NASA's Kepler Space Telescope discovered Kepler-16b, a planet orbiting two stars simultaneously. It was nicknamed Tatooine after the fictional desert planet in Star Wars. It exists. It is real. It orbits two stars. Now, Kepler-16b is a cold gas giant, not habitable, but it proved that circumbinary orbits are physically stable. A rocky planet at the right distance could, in principle, maintain liquid water and a stable climate. The sunsets would be extraordinary. Let's say we're in the good scenario. Earth in a circumbinary orbit. Two suns, stable orbit, life continues. What would existence actually feel like? The first thing you'd notice is shadows. You would have two of them. Depending on the positions of the two stars in the sky at any moment, your shadows would point in slightly different directions and overlap in complex patterns. Artists throughout history would have developed an entirely different understanding of light and shade. The calendar would be almost unrecognizably complex. Our current calendar is based entirely on a single star. With two, the rhythms of seasons, eclipses, and daylight would follow multiple overlapping cycles. Some years would have dramatically different lengths of daylight than others. Photosynthesis, the process plants use to convert sunlight into energy, would be supercharged in some seasons and possibly overwhelmed in others. Plant life would likely evolve differently. Forests might be denser, but also more vulnerable to irregular heat cycles. And the sky. Imagine a sunset where one star sets first and the second follows an hour later. The sky would move through colors we barely see on Earth, layers of red, orange, violet, and deep blue, one after another. Every evening, a different configuration. No two sunsets the same. Here's what makes this more than a thought experiment. When astronomers search for habitable planets, planets that could support life, they have historically focused on single star systems like ours. It was assumed that binary systems were too chaotic, too unstable. But the discovery of Kepler-16b and dozens of planets like it since has changed that assumption completely. More than half of all sun-like stars in our galaxy have a companion. If habitable planets can exist around binary stars, and the evidence increasingly suggests they can, then the number of potentially life-bearing worlds in the Milky Way just doubled. Or more. We may have been looking for life in the wrong kind of solar system all along. And there's something else, something quietly extraordinary about where we actually live. Earth orbits a single, stable, middle-aged star at almost exactly the right distance, in a solar system that has been calm enough for 4.5 billion years for life to evolve from microscopic chemistry into beings who ask questions like this one. That is not nothing.
So, what would happen if Earth had two suns? If the second sun appeared close to ours in our inner solar system, Earth would become uninhabitable within weeks. The heat, the gravitational chaos, the runaway greenhouse effect, everything we know would end. But if Earth orbited two stars from a safe circumbinary distance, life might continue. Different, stranger, more complicated. Two shadows, alien seasons, double sunsets, but alive. We actually live in one of the rarer configurations of solar systems in our galaxy. A single stable star, a planet at the right distance, conditions that have held steady long enough for 4.5 billion years of evolution to unfold. Most planets are not this lucky. And most of us never think about that for even a single moment. Maybe we should. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you, genuinely.
This channel is built for people who find the universe as fascinating as I do. Every week, we take a question like this one, a question that seems simple, but turns out to be extraordinary. And we follow it all the way down. Next video, how big is the universe? Your brain genuinely cannot process the answer. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you want to help us make more videos like this one, we have a Patreon, where members get early access, monthly wallpapers, and the ability to vote on what we explore next. Even $3 a month makes a real difference to a new channel. The link is in the description. I'm Cosmica. See you next Tuesday.